Hello and welcome to the Preston Baker market update for June. So we've got two big topics to talk about today. The first one is the EU referendum and any early indications about how that may be affecting the housing market and what our anticipated outcomes might be. And secondly, the housing crisis, so the discrepancy between the number of new homes being built and the demand for property out there at the moment. So first of all, on the EU referendum, I'm going to steer fully clear of politics and expressing any political decision. What I would say is that we expected a bigger impact than we've seen. So our sales rate, the proportion of houses which are selling when they come to the market, is currently running at 85%. That is really high compared to a normal estate agency market, which is really much of what we've seen over the past 2 to 3 years. And therefore, the indications are that demand is unabated. That's being driven, of course, by low mortgage rates. Money's cheap, and therefore demand is still very high for property, both from tenants and from buyers. Now, as we approach the EU referendum over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Our expectations are that if there's a vote to leave, that the second 6 months will probably be harder than the first 6 months of the year in terms of demand for property. We think there'll be more choice available for buyers. And if we vote to remain, then we suspect that actually it will probably remain very much a seller's market, and actually the second 6 months will kick on very nicely for homeowners and landlords. So we'll wait and see how that shapes up over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, and next month I'll be reporting back on that. In terms of the housing crisis, over the last 4 to 5, probably 6 to 7 years now, the number of new homes which are being built has ranged from about 120,000 up to 160,000. And this year, from having a look at the government's numbers, they're talking about 170,000 new homes being started in this financial year. Now, what that actually means is that there is a shortfall of new homes being started compared to the number of new households being created. So the government's numbers tell us that 200,000 new households are being created each and every year, and obviously there's a shortfall of anything between 30 and 60,000 households being constructed each and every year. So that's putting pressure in two areas. First of all, in terms of private rented stock. So with the changes to stamp duty, we've actually seen a lot of landlords dispose of properties and exit the market. We've also seen a number of new landlords enter the market before the stamp duty threshold as well. So there's been quite a turnover of stock in the early portion of this year. And it's also really fueling demand for property. So good quality property in great quality areas is an incredibly high demand for it, and we've still got many competing offers. So to try and do our part to tackle this in Yorkshire, we've really been working very hard to invest in a much expanded land and new homes team, which is being headed up by my business partner, James Baker. James is offering a consultancy service along with many of the other team about what you can do with land. So if you've got land, if you've got an old office building, if you've got a pub, anything like that which you think actually this could be used for residential development, I would encourage you to get in touch with James at james.baker@prestonbaker.co.uk and actually email him with this, because the opportunities are vast. Demand is really serious for property at the moment, and we've got lots of investors who are either looking to buy property which has got planning permission on it already, or alternatively land which they could potentially get planning permission on. So we see this as a really important opportunity both for landowners and also developers looking to get into the market, and then obviously that will then feed out to buyers and tenants as well. So we'll be updating on the EU referendum at the next market update. Really looking forward to catching up with you then, and if you have any questions about anything in the update today, please email me at ian.preston@prestonbaker.co.uk. Thanks very much.